This is TNN Motorsports Magazine Afternoon Edition for Sunday, October 20th, 1991.
TNN Motorsports Magazine is brought to you in part by Craftsman, a line of over 1,600 hand tools made in America, guaranteed for life. And by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pat Patterson. Thanks for joining us. That was a great Winston Cup race we just saw here on TNN a little earlier in our show. We'll go back and give you the highlights from the Rock live via satellite and wrap up today's AC Delco 500. But first, the final event of the 26th year of Trans Am racing took place a little earlier this afternoon. Scott Sharp had already had a lock on the championship, but there was a tight battle between Jack Baldwin and Irv Hare for the runner-up position. Mark Allen has our highlights.
Rocket Sports teammates number 7 Paul Gentilozzi and 5 Darren Brassfield diced for the lead on the opening circuits before Brassfield got by his car owner, who quickly faded. Soon after, number 20 Lou Gigliotti was in second after starting 14th, but he made a mistake and Scott Sharp inherited the spot. Steve Petty in the 01 Chevy stayed in the top 10 early until taking a wild ride which looked worse than it was. At mid-race, Sharp pitted his Chevy with Brassfield still well in front. But when Brassfield pitted, miscommunication kept him on pit road much too long to get back in the lead chase. That left the closing laps to teammates Sharp with 7 1991 wins and 28 Jack Baldwin, who was seeking his first Trans Am win ever. Both escaped jeopardy with 4 laps to go when Jerry Clinton spun. On the last lap, Baldwin was still in front when Sharp dove into the last corner much too deep and spun, assuring the second-year Trans Am driver a great season-ending finish. Ron Fellows took second, while Sharp recovered for third. Greg Pickett was fourth, and Stu Hayner fifth. This is Mark Allen reporting for TNN Motorsports Magazine.
All right, thanks, Mark. Let's go live via satellite to the track and talk with Jack Baldwin, who got his first Trans Am win today. And, Jack, you had to go into this race today knowing that Irv Hare was going to be tough. You did what you had to do. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. It's a great day for American Equipment Racing, the Skull Bandit Racing Team, and Chevrolet. We were able to overcome a lot of adversities going into this race and come up with a victory, which is particularly satisfying for the team.
Jack, tell me a little bit about the race today. I know that you have to be careful when you get in situations like that. Were you careful, or did you run flat out all day?
I run flat out all day. We came to win, and that's we were fortunate enough to be able to do that. But no, we went into the race. We qualified 11th. We missed single car. We had a little mechanical, little character builder, and then we on the start I forgot the rules and tried to start a little too quick and got a stop and go penalty, went back to the back and had to run hard all day, and my crew just did a fantastic pit stop, which helped a lot to get me up to the front. And the last thing I remember is running 10 laps on the end, and Scott was all over me like a cheap suit, and I knew he wasn't going to give me a thing. I wasn't going to give him anything either. So we run hard to the line, and I feel real fortunate we were able to outrun him and pull a victory for the Skull Bandit Camaro today.
Jack, looking back through the years, was this perhaps one of your toughest years in terms of being mentally prepared to go and run hard?
Well, we've had opportunities in the past several times to win, and it's been bitter disappointment for the Skull Bandit team for not to be able to come up with a victory up to this point. But I got to give them credit. Rick Millay and the guys, they never gave up, and they stuck with me, and they said, hey, we'll get them next time. We'll get them next time. Don't worry about it. We'll get them next time. And by God, we got them this time.
All right, man. Great run today, and a great season to you. And thanks very much for hanging around and being with us this afternoon. Jack Baldwin.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's my pleasure.
Thank you a lot, Jack. Just a few minutes, we'll check in on today's IndyCar race, and we'll have Formula One highlights from Japan. Stay with us.
This is Control. Go ahead.
We've got trouble.
What's the point of origin?
Japan.
Stand by. I'm patching you through to Command Center.
We've got to find it.
We'll have it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's too late.
Did you inform headquarters?
They're working on it.
Hold on. You've got something.
Quick, check the vehicle ID number.
That's it.
With more parts for more import cars than anybody else,
We got it.
Napa is a domestic solution to an international problem.
Indianapolis, Daytona, Talladega, Pomona, Baja. Why do we go to such distant places to put Craftsman tools to the test? If you're going to guarantee a tool forever, it's got to take the torture even guys like you dish out. 1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever, only at Sears. Besides, this kind of testing is fun.
Just a reminder, proper maintenance with AC Delco parts can significantly reduce premature wrinkles. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. By Bennett.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Welcome back, everybody. Ayrton Senna was looking to clinch his third World Driving Championship earlier today. Let's take a look now at how he fared in Japan.
The McLaren team strategy was clear from the start. Pole sitter Gerhard Berger was to lead, while teammate and driving points leader Ayrton Senna was to keep his lone championship challenger Nigel Mansell from getting to the front. The Englishman's slim title hopes slipped away entirely on lap 10 when he slid into a gravel pit from which there was no escape. That guaranteed Senna his second straight championship regardless of where he finished. With the pressure off, the Brazilian turned up the boost and led virtually the entire second half of the race. For Mansell, it was a long walk to the garage. Unlike the previous 2 years where this race had been marked by bitter controversy, the end was a display of sportsmanship not often seen in this high-pressure series. Berger was having late exhaust problems, leaving Senna well out in front. But in the final 500 yards, Senna slowed and allowed the Austrian to catch and pass him for his first Formula One victory ever. In the final rundown, Riccardo Patrese was third, with Alain Prost fourth and Martin Brundle fifth. The season concludes in 2 weeks in Australia.
As a prelude to today's IndyCar finale, the 1991 Marlboro Challenge All-Star Race was run at Laguna Seca yesterday. Rick Mears and Bobby Rahal were in line for a $150,000 bonus if either won the event. Brian Baxter has the highlights.
At California's Laguna Seca Raceway, Rick Mears jumped to the front of the field right at the start of the Marlboro Challenge, a 100-mile IndyCar dash for cash. Mears dominated the 45-lap sprint race with a picture-perfect pit stop taking him out of first place only briefly. It was Michael Andretti who gave Mears the most serious competition, but it looked like Mears would hold Andretti off as he went into the final lap in the lead. But then on the final turn of the race, coming around the corner, Mears ran out of fuel and Andretti blew by him to take the checkered flag, the victory, and $275,000 in Marlboro Challenge first prize money.
You know, I was driving my heart out the whole time, but a little unfair for Rick. I mean, he deserved it. He drove a heck of a race and was driving very tough, and but I guess when it's your day, it's your day.
Just caught up, sorry for fuel right there at the last corner, and you know, no warning up to that point. It just hesitated for a split second, died, and by the time it caught and took off again, he was already by. Thanks. One of those days.
Behind Michael Andretti's surprising first-place finish, Rick Mears managed to take home second and Emerson Fittipaldi third in the Marlboro Challenge. I'm Brian Baxter reporting.
The kart championship is being contested right now between Michael Andretti and Bobby Rahal at Laguna Seca. Andretti just needs to finish 5th or better to take home his first IndyCar championship. Our latest report on the race has Michael Andretti in the lead, and should he hold it, he takes the title. Emerson Fittipaldi is second with Rick Mears third. Mario Andretti is fourth with Bobby Rahal fifth, but it's still early in the event. We'll have the race highlights from Laguna Seca on our update at 8:25 Eastern tonight. The points battle in the sport truck class in the Mickey Thompson Grand Prix racing is one of the main stories from last night's event in Las Vegas. Jerry Garrett has the action.
The bone-jarring Stadium Off-Road Racing Series stopped over the weekend at the Las Vegas Silver Bowl. But the racers found the visit anything but hospitable. It seemed this event set some kind of new record for destruction of vehicles, but really only someone with a very short memory would make the claim that this was anything less than a typical Stadium Off-Road race. This was, however, the next to last race of this season, and some of the racers did seem especially high-strung over the season's point standing situation. Defending Truck Series champ Ivan the Iron Man Stewart had a wretched evening and fell all the way to third in the series points behind Roger Mears. The legendary Walker Evans, meanwhile, though, extended his points total to an almost insurmountable lead by winning the Las Vegas main event. Evans is now in prime position to win his first series driving title and to give Dodge the manufacturer's title over perennial champ Toyota.
Just a picture-perfect evening, you know, qualifying on the pole, starting in the back both times, earning points coming up through them, then starting on the pole, I should say starting in the back, and then coming to the main event and starting on the pole. 2 restarts, 2 shots at me, we still prevail. That Dodge is tough.
Reporting from Las Vegas, this is Jerry Garrett.
Right after this break, we'll have the Pit Crew Championship and Winston Cup highlights. Plus, we'll go back to Rockingham live via satellite to wrap up today's AC Delco 500. Stay with us.
Harry Gannell goes in.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better, and better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before, and cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Man, I could use a vacation.
Join Rusty Wallace for the ultimate vacation. Enter the Miller Genuine Draft Racing Cruise Sweepstakes and win a week-long all-expense-paid cruise to the Caribbean aboard the Norwegian Cruise Line Seaward, or one of hundreds of other prizes. To enter, call 1-900-2884-TNN. Calls cost 95 cents per minute, or send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard to this address. You must be 21 or older to win. Telephone entry deadline October 28th. Postcard deadline October 30th.
See you in the Caribbean.
Winners announced November 10th on Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Dodge announces the new Magnum Series engines. Engines that deliver as much as 44% more power. Here's a simple promise. Overall, today's Dodge trucks, gas and diesel, can deliver more payload, towing, and horsepower than Ford, Chevy, or any import. Dodge trucks, a powerful way to rediscover American value.
Now, get up to $1,000 cash back on select Dodge trucks.
Due to TNN Motorsports' live coverage of Sunday's AC Delco 500 race, Inside Winston Cup Racing, usually seen Sundays at 5 p.m., will be seen this week at 6 p.m. Eastern on TNN. Saturday on TNN Motorsports, while Kenny Wallace lives up to his family name, Tommy Houston wants a repeat victory. Relive all the short track action. Busch Spring 200 Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back, everybody. There's always a debate amongst NASCAR pit crews as to which is the fastest, but once a year, they compete to prove which is officially the best. The silver anniversary of the Unocal Pit Crew Championship was conducted yesterday at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
Pit stop pressure during a race pales by comparison to the butterflies felt during this annual timed competition. Four-time champion Richard Childress Racing rarely makes a mistake, but 3 loose lug nuts meant 9 seconds in penalties and no chance to win. More than half the teams committed 1 or more infractions, most of those centering on loose lug nuts. Junior Johnson's Budweiser team is almost always among the top 3 in this event, and the Tim Brewer-led crew posted a respectable 24.8-second stop to lead early. But 2 cars later, Bud Moore's team sent shockwaves up and down the pit road. They mounted 4 tires and dumped in 2 cans of fuel in Morgan Shepherd's Motorcraft Igloo Ford in 22.5 seconds, easily shattering the previous world record. 13 teams followed, but the battle was clearly for second. In the waning moments, the Quaker State crew performed flawless service on Brett Bodine's Buick, but their effort fell just 0.2 of a second short of taking over second. The most poignant moment of the competition came when the Melling team conducted a missing man pit stop. The team completed their work 1 man short in memory of crewman Mike Rich, a rear tire changer killed during last year's November Atlanta race. In the final standings, the Motorcraft crew won by more than 2 seconds, unheard of in this event. The Budweiser crew held on to second, with Quaker State third. The Pennzoil team was fourth, and the STP crew was fifth.
And you can see all the action from the Pit Crew Championship here on TNN next Saturday at 5:30 Eastern. The AC Delco 500 was seen here live a little earlier this afternoon. Kyle Petty has owned Rockingham for the last 2 years, and he was in line for a big Unocal bonus if he could continue his dominance.
Based on final practice times yesterday, everyone expected to chase pole sitter Kyle Petty all afternoon. But after lap 100, it was Harry Gant in number 33 who showed the greatest strength. It was a long day from the outset for outside pole sitter Ernie Irvin, who lost several cylinders early. At mid-race, with a long stretch of green flag action, Gant had lapped all but 6 others. He then picked off Petty, whose handling wasn't anywhere close to ideal. In the points chase, both Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd were lapped early and stayed there. Before lap 300, number 28 Davey Allison put his Ford in the hunt, and after going door-to-door for 10 laps, took the lead. The first multi-car incident happened a few moments later when Randy LaJoie spun and collected Irvin in a minor fender bender. Excessive tire wear sent teams scrambling for any unused rubber from other teams. Allison had bigger problems, sporting damage from contact with a lap car while in front. His stop dropped him from the lead and put Gant back at the head of the pack. In the final laps with no cautions, Gant had to pit under green, giving Mark Martin the point. But it was Allison who first caught and passed Martin for the lead with less than 20 laps to go. And though Harry Gant closed on the final lap, Allison held on for his 4th win this season. Martin held 3rd over Jeff Bodine, with Ken Schrader 5th.
This morning we talked about strategy with Bill Hennessy. We're going to go back to Rockingham now. The site of the day is AC Delco 500 and find out if 2 crew chiefs' strategies actually paid off. And Bill, I assume that the 2 guys you've got there with you have to be pretty happy that they finished that race.
Well, the rock is usually pretty hard on equipment, Pat, and for Waddell Wilson, his car did finish. But Waddell, the strategy, what happened today? Did it work out? Did you finish where you wanted to?
Well, definitely didn't finish where we wanted to, but, you know, the start of the race, you know, we come from 5th to 2nd. I thought that was pretty good, and everything was going as planned. But, you know, like the day went on and the track went away from us and we couldn't get a hold of it, then we had the long greens and we didn't have time to work on the car and get it comfortable for Ricky. So, you know, we had to settle for 12th, and that's not where we wanted to finish at all.
Did you expect more yellow flags today? Those green flag periods had to kill you.
Well, they did, you know, and of course everyone was at least coming in changing 4 tires. You had to do that because if you didn't, you'd really be in trouble. And then the last stop, we just took on fuel, and most of the people done that.
Well, you could have finished a little higher, but the race is over. Next time you race will be in Phoenix.
That's true, and hopefully, you know, that we can do better. And, you know, we're not going to give up yet, but it's close.
157 points now separate first from second. The man who's in the catbird seat, you might say, Kirk Shelmerdine's crew. Kirk, how was your race today?
Well, we didn't finish as well as we wanted. We had a little bit of trouble with the car handling-wise. It was a lot cooler today than it had been all week, and we just weren't set up perfectly. We wanted to run in the top 5 pretty much the whole day. That's our game plan really all year, to have as many top 5 finishes as we can and win the ones we can win. Today we were just a little bit off.
Well, Kirk Shelmerdine, 157-point advantage going to Phoenix. It looks like Dale Earnhardt's Mr. Cool now, because he's in the lead and has been doing so by basically maintaining the advantage of not being so much the intimidator this year, Pat.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Bill Hennessy, for hanging around after the race there, and a good show to everybody down at The Rock from TNN today. Good show. Thanks very much, Bill Hennessy.
Thank you.
Coming up next, Kenny Wallace is here to talk about yesterday's Grand National race, which he closed in on points leader Bobby Labonte. But first, let's take a look at the Craftsman chase for the championship standings with the updated Winston Cup points.
Indianapolis, Daytona, Talladega, Pomona, Baja. Why do we go to such distant places to put Craftsman tools to the test? If you're going to guarantee a tool forever, it's got to take the torture even guys like you dish out. 1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever, only at Sears. Besides, this kind of testing is fun.
And isn't it true that this auto part did, in fact, come from the defendant's car?
Objection. Prosecution is leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer the question. This part most definitely came from that car.
And how can you be sure?
I work for Napa Auto Parts. It's my job to be sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Napa people are parts experts, so they can answer any question, whatever the case may be.
In our continuing search for the best of everything, our special segment today applies to all motorists. Straining to see through a rain-soaked windshield is no fun and can be unsafe, but there is a solution. It's called Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper. It dramatically improves wet weather visibility. After my first application, I was a true believer. Water never slid off a duck's back quite so easily. If you want true performance from a product, go out and get your Rain-X today.
Available at Kmart. Shower yourself with a new sensation. New refreshing shield. Feel the blast. The excitement. The high energy beat. Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula will shake you up. Turn you around. It's a whole new feeling of pure refreshment. New refreshing Shield.
Welcome back, everybody. Busy weekend down at The Rock. One of the big races yesterday, the AC Delco 200. Kenny Wallace needed to close up on the points, and he did so with help from brother Rusty. And you had to be very happy. Even though you were injured yesterday, Rusty filled in and did a great job, and now has got you in a good position.
Well, that was the plan of attack. You know, sometimes when things happen that you don't expect, you got to go to plan B, and that's what we did. Cracked a couple of ribs up in Loudon, New Hampshire, and you know, it was not a good situation. So Rusty stepped in and run third, and Bobby Labonte had a little problems in the closing laps. I guess he broke a couple valve springs and closed in 23 points on him.
Let's talk about your injury just a minute and how you feel right now and how you expect to feel going into Martinsville for the final race of the year next weekend. Physically, how do you feel?
Well, like I said, I have a couple of cracked ribs, and the ribs are really healing good. I'm about 80% right now. We're going to go ahead and go up, I think, to Wilkesboro or Hickory Tuesday with one of our other cars and just run some laps and try to get me back in the heat of the battle of things. You know, just not up to par yet, but I think by Thursday when we qualify, I'll be ready to go.
This Busch Grand National title means a lot to you, and I know it means a lot to Bobby Labonte as well, and it has just been a struggle for both of you guys.
I tell you, a lot of people said this has been a great year for me with 2 victories and poles, and, you know, really running good. We've got a lot of top fives. I think about 12 top fives, which is by far best in the series. But it seems like either we're running for the lead or in the top 5 or running over drive shafts or lead or having a crash. So it's been an up and down year, and it's really hard to finger point, why things are the way they are. But I'm happy with, the success we've had this year. And, you just want to try to cap it off with a championship run. Next year I go on to Winston Cup, and I won't have a chance to, win a championship again in the Busch Series. So that's one reason we kind of want to do that.
Hard to watch somebody else drive your race car, isn't it?
I've been driving since 1986 when I started in ASA, and this week marked the first time that I ever had to get out of any type of car of my own, and it's very hard to do. I've built all my own race cars and always been involved, and I've always been hyper, and I'm never going to get hurt. This is never going to happen to me. And when it does, it matures you about 10 years and makes you think differently.
Can you win a championship next weekend?
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, we can win it. I feel strong. I feel good right now. We're only 19 points behind, and that's only 4 positions in the top 5. If we win and Bobby Labonte finishes 4th, we win the championship. There's a lot of different scenarios. Martinsville has been a good track for me. So we can win it.
Good luck to you. I'm glad you spent some time with us today, and have a good, safe week. Hope it's a great race for you next weekend in Martinsville.
Thanks a lot. It's going to be tense.
All right, Kenny Wallace. Tonight on our update at 8:25, we'll show you who won the kart championship. Then next Sunday morning, coming up on TNN Motorsports Magazine, live at 11:30 Eastern, we'll preview the Martinsville Grand National Race, and we'll check in on the final IHRA event in California. Plus, Trans Am champion Scott Sharp will be right here in the studio. Now let's recap today's headlines. Michael Andretti leads the kart race in pursuit of his first IndyCar championship. Davey Allison wins the 4th Winston Cup race of the year in Rockingham. Jack Baldwin wins his first Trans Am race in the season finale, and had a great race on top of that. That's it for now. I'm Pat Patterson. We'll catch you later at 8:25 right here on TNN.
TNN Motorsports Magazine is brought to you in part by Craftsman, a line of over 1,600 hand tools made in America, guaranteed for life. And by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Guests of TNN Motorsports Magazine stay at the luxurious Charlotte Guest Quarters Suite Hotel to make every stay extra special. Call 1-800-424-2900. Communications provided by Racing Radios, the official communications of NASCAR, CART, IMSA, NHRA, IHRA, and ARCA. A promotional fee has been paid for by Corporate Image. Corporate Image, the official supplier of sportswear for Motorsports Magazine, and with a complete line of items featuring Ernie Urban and Ricky Rudd. For a catalog or to order by phone, call 1-800-467-RACE.